What up, guys? This is your boy Tommy. I'm here at my home gym. Not my home gym, it's for my entire apartment complex, but no one really comes in here. So I got it all to myself today. It's always nice, you know. So I want to do a little fitness video. As you know this channel is not only about fitness, but fitness is an important part of your success and happiness. So we're going to do that today. So my boy from the Navy was recently back in town. He was on leave, came back for about 2 weeks, and we did a little working out, went to Gold's Gym, pumped with the best of them. And this is a fit guy, definitely a fit guy. Obviously, he's military trained and all this stuff, but he was like, at one point, I was making some stuff up, doing some crazy stuff, because that's what I like to do, get a little crazy. Me and, my roommate were training for American Ninja Warrior. In theory, not necessarily like specifically, but just that kind of training, calisthenics, that kind of thing. So I was mixing it up, training, and he was like, hey man, you know what, honestly, this is a little too advanced for me. And I would, not to say that in like a cocky way, but just that there's some stuff that he couldn't really quite do yet. And then another one of my boys asked me to get some basics down. So today we're gonna get some basics. All right, so I'm doing arms today, so today's gonna be about arms. Now, here's what I wanna do. I wanna start with shoulders. I do not know much about anatomy, like human anatomy and stuff like that, but I do know enough to get fit. So, shoulders, important thing to remember when you do shoulders. Every muscle has a few components to it, although like we call it the shoulder muscle or whatever it's specifically called. There's three parts to the shoulder, okay? I don't know all the names, but there's a front part here, there's a middle part, and then there's a back part. So if you're working your shoulders, you need to know that to be able to work all angles. Now, it's always okay to mix it up and combine muscle groups, whole muscles, and even different body parts at the same time, but it's important to understand the basics and get the basics down when you do it. So we're gonna start with all right, so for right now, I'm just gonna get a few things going. Like I said, there's three different parts to the shoulder muscle. It's important to understand that. So when we're working our front shoulders up here on the front, like when you're facing someone right there in the front, the easiest thing I would say to do to work that part of the shoulder is a shoulder press right here. Most of y'all know how to do a shoulder press. Boom, boom, boom. It's really that easy. Now that is a shoulder workout, but it's important to know that's not the only shoulder workout. So let's do some shoulder, I don't even know what you call them, shoulder raises or whatever. For the side, you can kind of understand the anatomy and physiology when you're just looking at it, understanding it. So for this middle section of the shoulder, right here on the side that you see, not quite isolated yet on my body, but we're gonna go just straight up to the side, all right? That's a good, easy way, straight up. Now you can do this individually, or you can do this with two arms, it really doesn't matter. Like I said, I like to mix it up no matter what. But the point is that now that you understand this middle section of the shoulder. All right, now back shoulder. There's a few different ones you can do for this one. But I find that this, for myself and for a lot of people, is the most lacking. So one that I like to do, sometimes I just stand and I just pull it straight, pull this straight back, straight arm. This is not for triceps, this is for shoulders. Just go straight back, just like that, other arm. But I would say that the most effective one is just right here. Now I'm gonna turn my wrists literally in towards my body like this, so in towards like this. Just lean over, straight back, and then just go straight up. Now you can literally feel this in the back of the shoulder. Boom. Oh yeah, that feels real good right there. So, that about covers the basic shoulder workouts that you need to know if you're just getting started. Again, this is not for someone who's already fit. This is for someone who's just starting out, working out. All you need to understand, obviously there's a bunch more workouts, but just understand there's a front, middle, and back part to the shoulder. It's any muscle, you got different parts to it. So there's your shoulders. All right, biceps are next. Another biceps are one that people like doing. a lot. You know, you see guys literally huge biceps, no legs, obviously. You don't want that to be you, but at the same time, it is an important muscle just for getting fit. One of my mentors in fitness recently said, you know, the bicep is literally the most useless muscle out there, you know, as far as like practicality, like daily, you know, uses, as far as even in sports, man, you know, the bicep is the least important. Of course it's important, but you know, if you're just trying to get fit, obviously, you know, you want to have some good buys, you know, so you can flex on the ladies at the beach or whatever. So same deal, 2 parts to the bicep. I don't know the names, this is not a class, but basically your bicep splits right up the middle here, and there's I think it might be interior, exterior, or whatever. Basically there's an outside part and an inside part. Okay, there's two different connections to the muscle. You can see kind of the break up here when people flex really hard, especially really ripped guys. There's kind of like a little section in the middle that separates the two. So, same deal there. Obviously, you can do straight biceps right in front with dumbbells here. By the way, I'm using dumbbells today because I think the dumbbells are the most practical way to start out. It'll build balance and control rather than just strength with like a barbell. So you can do this right here, just straight ahead. You know, if you're in the mirror, you're just gonna try to keep it as symmetrical as possible, and you'll get a little working on both sides of the bicep there. As you can see, when I flex, there's a little bit of kind of like almost like a dent in between, right in between my biceps here. So you can kind of see the 2 different parts. So isolation of muscles is important, especially when you're just starting out. So let's work that outside bi, all right? It's very simple. We're just gonna go outside rather than inside. So I'm going straight up to my shoulders, basically. Now you can move the wrists however way you want. That's something you can switch up later. But for right now, the movement is important. The only point is that you keep it outside to work that outside bicep, isolate that outside. When you really start to feel the burn, you'll feel it on the outside bicep. You'll feel that isolation, so you know that you're isolating that particular section of the muscle, which is important, especially if you're just starting out. Now, same deal on the inside. You can do it with both arms, or I like it to do it with one. I think it's the most practical and the easiest one to do right here. So I'm going straight up. Same deal there. Actually, I messed that up, I'm sorry. The first one I was doing was inside bis. As you can see, you're isolating that inside part here when you go outside, isolating that inner bi towards your body. When you go here, it's that outside. So you can either curl straight up, try to keep it as close as possible. I like to do it with one arm just to get that full range of motion. I like to literally go up to my opposite chest muscle. As you can see, the outside bicep is getting worked the most. That's where, you know, you got that vein popping out sometimes if you get in there, get into that really ripped point. The only important thing, the only goal for me is for you to understand that there is 2 different parts to this. There's 2 different parts to your bi, 3 to the shoulder. That about covers basic bi movement. So let's move on to the tricep real quick here. Most of the names that we get for our muscles, like Tricep dorsi or whatever it is, they come from a Latin base. So tricep in Latin means literally 3-headed muscle or something like that. Tri, 3, it's pretty simple. So as you can see, there's 3 different, you know, you can't always tell, but there is 3 different parts to the tricep. I know that this back part is one big part that's isolated. This front part, it separates right about here. This front part that goes down to here is a little different. And then you have one that's literally underneath, if you can see, right about here. You know, you can you can at least separate the 3 different groups. You got the tricep, one of the muscles here, one here, one here. So same deal. I'm using real light weights just to demonstrate some stuff, but you know, it's important to get the individual muscle isolation. So if you're trying to work that lowest part of the tricep that you see right about here, you can barely see it on my body. If you're trying to work that very lowest part, you need to get really deep deep isolation for that top tri. So sometimes what I like to do, because that's the part that's lacking on my body, is I go right here and I'm just like barely going up. I'm not going all the way, but I'm just going a tiny bit up. Basically, you know, you could see from here to about here. Just to isolate that tiny little bottom tricep muscle. So boom, boom. You can kind of see it flaring up here. That very bottom part. Boom, boom, boom. The charm, same thing. Very top muscle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just gonna do a couple just so you can see that tiniest, smallest part of the tri right there. All right, now for the very top of the tricep, you see right here, up towards your body, you can see there's a little bit of isolation. It's a different part of the muscle. We're gonna do exactly the opposite. We're gonna go exactly fully extended to about halfway. You can see that bottom part is the part getting worked the most. Boom, just right there. So from halfway to full extension. Same deal, even it out, do the other arm. 1, 2, probably just do like 5. See that part right there? Now the middle one is always the hardest. You can get that part, you know, from doing a full extension. This is just dumbbell training again. Full extension here. You know, it's all interconnected, but like I said, it is important to isolate. So what I've found is the best way to work that inner part, the middle tri, if you will, is to go to the, you could go in front of your body and go opposite shoulder. But again, you know, you're just like kind of finding that balance right in the middle. I like to feel around with my fingers so I can feel what part is really getting big. Same thing, middle tricep, isolate that little middle section here. Boom. Just a little bit of extension. And there it is. All right, so forearms are the same exact way. It's important to understand there's a few different components to go through. If you have this middle part, you can always see flare up. If you flex really hard on this top part that connects to your tri, then you have a middle section that goes straight up here, right? Kind of connects to the bicep on the inside. And then you have the back side of your forearm right here. Now, same deal. I'm gonna go really light just so we can see if I wanna work this top part that connects to the tri. A basic dumbbell form one is just to go right here. Might take a little bit of movement before you actually feel it, because it feels easy at first for sure, but you know, it's gonna start flaring up and really get going. So same deal with on the inside. You wanna, it's almost like a forearm curl right here. Boom, that works that inner part. It connects up to the bicep, inner part of the forearm. Just do like 5, and then same deal for the back side. Front side, we're gonna just go up this way. You can kind of see my forearm muscles working there. So that's what it is, man. Don't be the guy that just comes to the gym and does some random stuff without really knowing what you're doing. Isolate each individual section of each individual muscle. It's always okay to do fluid movements once you get a little bit more advanced and connect different, not only parts of a certain muscle, but different muscles like shoulders and biceps, tris together, whatever it is. But before you do that, you need to get some of the basics down. So there's some of the basics with some dumbbells, and that's what it is, man. Get to it, all right?